I'm Elizabeth from the Cochise County Cooperative Extension, and welcome to our Farmers Market series. I hope that you were able to join us earlier today for brain breaks. If not, please look back in the videos. There's a lot of great activities that you can do to get away from your screen for a little while, to give your mind a rest. So hopefully you'll use those. But today, now we're going to move on to farmers market produce. So, as I was at the farmers market yesterday in Sierra Vista, it was really warm. It was a really warm day, and I decided that a really good use of Arizona grown produce would be a cold vegetable plate. I thought this would be especially good as our kids are going back to school in some fashion. We may need quick lunches or quick snacks, and so this is something that you can modify to suit your kids' taste. So some of the things I found at the farmers market: cucumbers. There's cucumbers of all shapes, sizes, and kinds there. This one is really large. It'll last my family for a while. Celery, so here in the bowl, I'm going to scooch this over so you can see. Some really beautiful celery, and radishes. Also all different shapes and sizes and kinds. These are a little long. These are also a little spicy, so those are good. And carrots. So those are great. Move this over. So what we're going to do is make a vegetable plate with a hummus dip. We're going to make our own hummus. And the really great thing about this is if your kids don't like garbanzo beans or hummus, you can do this with any kind of beans you have in your pantry. Actually, the reason I decided to do this particular dip is it is things I had in my pantry. So it's very flexible. So we'll start with the veggies. Let's see here. I'm going to scooch these guys over. So we'll start with the cucumber. I'm just going to cut his tip off here like that. And I put it in the discard bowl. And then I'm going to use my peeler. I have a Y peeler. You can use whichever kind you like. I like these because they're easy to handle. And I'm just going to give the skin a little trim. Discard pile. And I'm going to set that aside. So what I do for dipping is I cut it in strips. And this makes it really easy to dip. So I'm going to put those on our plate. We'll see those in just a second when we're all done. All right, next we'll do the radish. So these are a little bit longer. A lot of times radishes are round. So I'm just gonna cut that tip off as well, cut the top off. What I like about these long ones is they're easy to slice. And cut it in half, kind of the same thing. You can cut it into longer strips. And I'm just going to cut those in half to give a good, we'll put those on our plate. Next, the carrot. So one of the things I love about farmers market carrots is they come in all kinds of funny shapes. So this one has a couple little root ends. So we'll cut the top off. And then the same thing. We'll bring the discard bowl over, just peel right into that. Fresh carrots, if you wanted to, as long as you clean them really well, you could eat the skin. So you don't have to shave it if you don't want to, or peel it. So cut the root end off. And I'm going to cut it in the manageable sizes, like that. And then like that. And then into sticks. what is left is our celery. So this is obviously a little bit skinnier than celery you might see in the store, but that is no problem. I'll cut the end off and cut the top off. So there are some recipes that call just for celery leaves. If you have something, don't throw these away. You can use these in a lot of different things. They're great in soup. Chop them up, and they offer a lot of flavor. So now one of the things I do with celery, especially store-bought celery, is I give it a little peel to get rid of some of those strings. This is especially good if you're going to serve this to younger children that may find the strings a little difficult to maneuver. So just real light, and see it kind of takes off the little stringy part. And then because this is small, I'm just going to cut it into sections. And then maybe this one into sticks. All right, so that's all of our veggies. Bring our veggie plate over. So we have celery, cucumbers, carrots, and radishes from the farmer's market. You could put tomatoes on this. If you wanted to make it more of a meal, you could add crackers or pita bread or any other type of bread. And you could add cheese. So you could really go crazy with this. All right, so now we're gonna make our hummus. And you can use a blender if you want. I'm gonna do that just to make this a little bit quicker. But you could mash this by hand if you don't have a blender handy. So the recipe calls for 1 can of beans. So we're using Braille beans. I rinsed these in the colander. So I opened the can, dumped them in, rinsed them with cold water. They're good to go. We'll put them right in here. And then it calls for 1/4 cup of water, which is what I have in here. And it calls for 1/4 cup of olive oil. And put that in there, just like that. And the recipe calls for tahini. That's a sesame paste. That is optional. I don't have that, so I'm not going to use it. It calls for 1/2 lemon. As always, I never have fresh lemons on hand, but I do have lemon juice. So I'm just going to give a couple little squirts in here. This is a brand new one, so it's not cooperative yet. And I like a lot of lemon in my hummus. There's a kind you can buy in the store that is lemon. That's the flavor of it, and I love that one. It's one of my favorites. So I'm gonna go ahead and just be extra lemon here because I like that. Okay. And then calls for a little salt and pepper to taste. So I have my salt and my pepper. I just want to show you real quick while I'm going through. This is my veggie brush, so for cleaning the radishes and the carrots. So these are good to have on hand to scrub that fresh produce. It helps get the soil out of there. And since also at the farmer's market, one of the things I saw a lot of yesterday was Thai basil. There was a lot of basil at the market. So I'm going to add some fresh herbs to mine. Just to give it a little pizzazz. All right. And then we're ready to mix. Oh, I almost forgot the garlic. So I had chopped this up a little bit ahead of time. So that is our garlic. If you don't want to add garlic, you don't have to. I really like it. All right. We're ready to go. So this is going to be loud. palette handy. Spoonful and put it in our bowl. And we'll give it a little garnish to be pretty. And there we are, a perfect summer lunch plate or dinner plate or snack plate from the farmers market. So great. So hopefully you'll join us next week. See what we can find at the farmers market. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy some fresh Arizona grown produce, and hopefully I'll see you at the farmers market. Great. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.